Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And in this episode, we're going to get that main storyline here in Ust Natha underway, and we will have some cool fights coming up soon as well. So we'll see how many of them we can get done here. But anyway, nearby, there's going to be that person we were supposed to report to by the name of Solofine or Solofane. So let's go and talk to him.
Ah, you are the newcomers that have been sent my way, I see. As if I do not have enough to accomplish in a day, without suffering for the welfare of the weak.
There is no refuge to be had in Ust Natha, fools. We pay for our existence here with blood, and you shall do the same. My name is Solofine, and for now you shall do as I say to prove your worth to the matron mothers. Failure is death. And just because you are female, do not think to challenge me. You are a foreigner here, and no better than a slave until the matron mothers think otherwise. Have you a name, vagrant? So let's respond like a drow female would. He's not going to be too impressed with that, but no matter. One of the matron mothers has taken an interest in your arrival, and wishes to avail herself of your skills. She has sent a handmaiden to speak with you at the entrance platform to the city, and that's where we're going to meet up with her and with Solofine as well. And we're supposed to go there right away, since the handmaidens are notoriously impatient apparently. And Jaheira is going to have an interjection, since now our adventure truly begins here. We must harden our hearts if we are to blend in. It's not going to be easy, but anyway, here in this tower we have two entrances to the headquarters of House Despana, which we can't do anything with right now, and because they are magically worded, that's something for later. And here we can explore the slightly different interior of the Male Fighters Society and loot some of these containers here for some very, very minor treasures. And we're also going to take a look at that platform. That in the previous episode we've seen these spiders kill some unfortunate souls. And so we got another identify scroll. And yeah, just to take a look at the aftermath here. That platform with the spiders feasting, I guess, on the corpses of these poor fellows. Anyway, here we also have two containers in this tower and in the other one, but basically all we can get here is this cursed pair of bracers, and there might be some very minor treasures in these two containers as well. Yeah, and now we can go to that entrance platform and see what our mission is. And actually here, here's that handmaiden Imre, and if we talk directly to her, and she is going to be very angered by that, because that's very disrespectful coming, addressing her directly by a drow with such a low status as we have right now. So she is going to direct her anger actually at Solofine primarily, for his lack of judgment when it comes to hiring assistants, I guess. So between our meeting here and the place where we meet Solofine a little bit later, apparently he gets punished by Imre for his incompetence. So actually let's spare him that and just progress the conversation how it's supposed to be progressed, I guess.
I do what I must, when I must. Know this well.
Yeah, so that matron mother has designated a task for us. Imre, favorite of Lolth, this is the traveler from Chad-Nasad who might be of great use. Your story has been verified so far, Veldurin of Chad-Nasad, and that is why you have not been sold as a lowly slave or made an amusement in the tavern, but you still have no place here. You are fortunate indeed that many of our finest warriors are busy with preparations elsewhere. Fortunate enough that the matron mother has decided to make use of you. Cling to that sole hope, worms, and do not fail the matron mother, for if you do, the horrors of your punishment shall be far more terrible than had we beset you at the gate. So they mention some preparations for something. Some big things apparently are in store for the city here, and Solofine is going to mention that as well. But for now they're going to speak of the Devourers, which is how the drow call the Illithids. And that matron mother's eldest daughter ran afoul of Devourers while scouting. Her full companions fled or were slaughtered, and she was taken captive. They know a prize when they have one, the Devourers. They will bring the daughter to their city, and should they reach it, she shall be lost forever. With the preparations of the armies, we are the only ones who can intercept these Devourers. And yeah, we're going to have the means to take them out of their astral travel, and ambush them, and try to rescue that eldest daughter. So yeah, we're going to meet up with Solofine a little bit later. Apparently we still have some time. 12 hours, apparently. So we are going to be able to rest and rearrange our spells for some upcoming encounters. And of course, if we fail, we are going to get punished. There are many exquisite horrors that may be found for you in the demon web pits should you fail. And if you decide to run, the Driders will eventually track you down. And the Drider is actually a cool type of monster that the drow that fail in life, I guess, as punishment, get damned to the fate of becoming a Drider, which is a half-drow, half-spider creature. And in Icewind Dale 2, you can actually fight some Driders, which is pretty cool. But anyway, that is our mission. So let's first go to the tavern and rearrange our spells, rest one time, and then we're going to be ready.
This will not take long.
And actually, let's teleport ourselves here and speak with the bartender in a second. Here I think mainly we are going to rearrange level 4 because we're not going to need these minor sequencers anymore, and I think we're going to memorize quite a few of different dispels, like secret words, some breaches, and stuff like that, because we are going to have a great need for some dispelling magic soon. And here I'm going to go for Limited Wish again, and I think we might as well already memorized a simulacrum on Senashira. Also on Amenomen we're going to give him another True Seeing. On Imoen we're going to basically have her get a spell sequencer with triple remove magic, and Senashira is going to do the same, because, as I said, there is going to be a lot of reasons to have some dispelling magics prepared. And on Edwin, we're going to give him another breach, just in case, and at level 4, we can give him, I guess, Emotion Hopelessness, perhaps, and that's going to be fine.
If it must be done.
So now we can talk to that bartender, and he mentions some lust chambers, which is something upstairs. Yeah, the drow are pretty hedonistic, and apparently they have some oiled massages prepared, and more. Once we explore upstairs later, we're going to see that. We're going to be able to take a massage with a happy ending, I guess. And he also mentions the pits for fighting and the slave explosion runes, which is another attraction upstairs. But yeah, we can take a look at his services, and they only, of course, have the best type of rooms, which are very costly. And also a cool touch here is that the surface drinks, like the bitter black ale and mead, are very expensive because they are rare in the Underdark, whereas the common beverages here in the Underdark are very cheap in comparison. So pretty cool little thing. Right, and let's set up our sequencers first, and then we're going to be ready. And we're going to go outside of the city. But I'm not going to teleport us directly to Solofine, because there is going to be a fight on the way.
Speak.
Alright.
It will be done.
Now we can go and experience some more adventures. And this is going to be pretty cool, the fight we're about to engage in. We are going to be able to, well, teleport ourselves a little bit closer to where it's supposed to happen. But since now we have that drow illusion going, we're under the effect of that, we are actually going to be kind of on the other side of the fence when it comes to the fights in the Underdark, because we are going to meet a group of adventurers from the surface here. They are evil aligned, so we don't have to, worry too much about fighting them. But it's pretty cool that now our roles are reversed, and now we are kind of the bad guys, the drow, fighting some surfacer intruders. So let's give our mages some stone skins, just so they don't get interrupted too easily. Actually, let's also give ourselves like some basic buffs like Bless and Chant. I always kind of neglect these simple buffs, because I want to, go, not waste time on the buffs, but it's nice to have them. And actually, let's give Protection from Fire to Senashira. And we're going to also enter the fight with True Seeing active on Anomen. This is going to be pretty useful. And let's make sure that we have our melee weapons selected. Right, and now we can proceed. And there they are. So there's going to be quite a few of them. They have some beasts with them. This war dog, a skeleton, this ogre Boz, or Bozo. He is actually very notable. He's their primary melee fighter, and he wields an fantastic halberd that we're going to be able to get from him. There's also an archer goblin, Simbia or Simbja. They also have this imp Pitch, who can blind. They have a cleric, Chandrilla. They have a mage here by the name of Nashtar. And also there's an invisible thief with them, who is going to be able to backstab for quadruple damage. And basically the cleric, the mage, and the thief are all level 14, so, you know, not that high. And the other beasts, their level is kind of a more abstract thing, although I think the ogre is level 16. But anyway, what I also wanted to point your attention to was that the Skull of Death that we were able to get from Vithel here in the Underdark mentions a mad necromancer lich, Nashtar Nicodemus, that apparently made this item. And there's, I don't think, any connection that there is supposed to be there, because you know, this one was supposed to be a lich, whereas the mage we're going to be facing off against here is a human. But still. Also, this is slightly differently spelled, because after the apostrophe here we have a capital A, whereas this mage has a lowercase a in his name. But anyway, he has Fire Shield Blue, Minor Globe, and Shadow Door. So I think we're going to be able to throw in with Imoen a little delayed blast fireball in there. Edwin is going to throw in one remove magic. Anomen is just going to go closer here. Actually, you may throw a Holy Smite for some damage and for some blinding.
Yes?
And I think Senashira might even be able to quickly throw a Greater Malison on them.
Yes.
And Jaheira might engage Boz here in combat. So Nashtar has Mantle on him. Oh yeah, Kiranai might also start attacking. Right, the Holy Smite comes in. I think we were able to apply our Greater Malison before these effects. It kind of seems like Nashtar here was... He couldn't have been blinded because he has Minor Globe. That's just the Greater Malison effect. Yeah, but we were able to do some damage and whatnot, and apparently the remove magic was not effective though on Nashtar.
What is it?
And I would like Anomen to be a little closer so that his... I think... let's see if there was a message. Yeah, his illusions were dispelled, so this fireball perhaps should be able to do some damage to him, or did he have protection from fire? Well, I don't think so. Maybe he was out of range of it. But we were able to do some damage with it. And now I would like...
Yes?
I think Senashira to just dispel him with some Spell Thrust. He doesn't have any more serious protections. And I wanted to look at whether I damaged Jaheira with my own fireball, but it doesn't seem like that was the case. She just got damaged, I think, by that ogre, it seems, and she was blinded by that mist ball ability of that imp. And so we're just going to heal Jaheira up. The ogre is dead now. And we can focus our attention on some different targets, but I would like to dispel that guy. I don't want to dispel the blindness coming from Holy Smite, so I don't really want to go with Dispel Magic or Remove Magic anymore. We're going to have to go the route of Spell Thrust and Breach. Alright, so that's already done. And Edwin has 2 breaches, so let's use one of them on Nashtar here. And perhaps we could be able to interrupt him with our... Right, we weren't able to interrupt him. But his remove magic was not too effective. And yeah, we are able to do fire damage to him. So he was just out of range of our fireball. And here comes that thief, Damien. Imoen still has Stone Skin, so of course his backstab, he even missed with it, I think. But anyway, we should be able to get to Nashtar in a second. Edwin is still casting. Alright, now he is vulnerable
Yes.
to our stuff. And now he is no more. Now let's focus
Quickly and easily.
our attention onto that thief before he goes invisible again. And yeah, all of them are now down. Chandrila doesn't have anything, just some normal loot, but Boz here has a full plate mail and this fantastic halberd that we're going to be able to identify later. The thief has some decent potions, although he used his potions of invisibility, it seems. And Nashtar has a scroll of horrid wilting on him, and some potions as well. So who needs one? Jahira needs one. You can take that. These ice dust potions go to Jahira's scroll potion case, and
Yes.
alright, now we are done. And now we can meet up with Solofine. He's going to be right here. And we're going to apply some chaotic commands here, because of course the SCS Illithids can of course teleport to characters that you can like leave out of this fight, and you know, quickly stun them with their psionic blasts and kill them very quickly by draining their intelligence.
I shall go forth at your command.
Nature's servant.
So we really need to protect everyone, and although we are supposed to be kind of ambushing the Illithids, it's going to work out in a way where we're going to get surrounded by them. So just chaotic commands for everyone. Also, these buffs are going to serve us well very soon. We still have our stone skins. No one was really dispelled here. So you know what, let's throw in a bless and a chant as well. Let's get some more value out of these simple buffs here. I'm also going to give this Boots of Speed to Kiranai and switch her weapons to the melee variety, because she's going to go for some backstabs here. Although the Illithid can see invisible, of course, in SCS, there's going to be some Umber Hulks with them, and I think 2 of them should spawn around there. So she's going to be able to hopefully put her backstabbing skills to good use. Right, now we can speak to Solofine. So the Illithids are apparently nearby, and we have time for just one question. And here, this conversation option, if we addressed Imre directly, that would make more sense. And we can apologize for that kind of thing, and he's going to be pretty surprised that we are acting in such an Andrau-like manner, but he is going to appreciate the sentiment, which is going to give us the hint that there is more to Solofine that you know, appears at a glance. But let's actually ask who we are actually supposed to rescue. So the eldest daughter of that matron mother Ardulis is Phaere of House Despana. So now we know that House Despana is interested in us, in acquiring our help to do some tasks. So now doing some conversations in the city is going to make a little bit more sense now that we know, you know, that House Despana kind of wants to procure our aid here, or that we are kind of working for them. But do not expect to be rewarded by Phaere if our rescue is successful. She expects no less from Lesser Drow. We have no choice in the matter. And yeah, now he's going to use that item. And after a while, the Illithid are going to show up.
Very well.
And actually, they're going to kind of spawn in kind of a cutscene. And if you have some thief traps set up, they can actually die in the cutscene, which is something that we're not going to do, but... So here's Phaere, and a couple of Illithids and a couple of Umber Hulks are going to show up as well. Alright, so Kiranai, with her speed, should be able to take care of some of these Umber Hulks, and let's just focus our fire here.
At your order.
Yeah. Whatever.
Alright, so a nice crit for 168 damage on Kiranai, so that was pretty nice. And now she can drink 1 potion of invisibility and go for another backstab. to deal with the other Umber Hulk. Alright, so this guy reveals himself. Let's try to focus our damage on that one. And we can actually give the Boots of Speed back to Jaheira now. Oh, you missed your second backstab, Kiranai. How could you? Man. Right, Edwin is getting his intelligence drain, which is no problem. Let's just make sure that he's not too low. 'Cause he's the focus of the attacks of 2 Mind Flayers there. Now we're going to switch Kiranai back to ranged weapons. And you can like assist Phaere there with that Umber Hulk. And Solfine, of course, you know, as a kind of a quest-related NPC here, is actually immune to Psionic Blast, although he is going to have that symbol that held creatures have. And she's like, "Who is that? Solofine? So, Matron Mother sent you, did she? How that must gall you, risking your life to save mine." "I did as I was commanded." "Yes, you did, as any male should. You have done well enough, I suppose, you and your assistants." So it seems like there's some story that Solofine and Phaere have had with each other. But anyway, we can introduce ourselves. We can actually allow ourselves to be a little bit more aggressive here, but let's actually try to blend in without any problems. "A foreigner? How very odd. We shall have to speak more, you and I, once we are back in Ust Natha." And she's going to insist on going back alone, which is going to anger Solofine. He doesn't, of course, want to endanger her again. "I appreciate your touching concern, but I can handle myself, Solofine, and it is my command, so you have no choice. Farewell."
Blasted, arrogant wench! May the Spider Queen bite at her black heart!
So yeah, he's going to follow her, and we're going to all meet up in Ust Natha after we rearrange some stuff.
What is it?
And yeah, now we can just safely teleport back.
Without doubt.
Oh, and I think once we are done with this conversation, there's going to be a follow-up with this tank here. So let's actually inspect it before this follow-up occurs. So in here, there apparently is a loathsome fish-like creature floating in the water there. Apparently kind of hibernating, motionless as if sleeping. And you can't really see the shape too well of what's inside, which adds to the mysteriousness, I guess, of that creature. But anyway, the follow-up is going to be active pretty soon, I think. So here we can talk to Solofine again. Of course, we have done an excellent service. And yeah, and Phaere is going to want to meet up with us in the tavern soon. Although she does mention here that Solofine was punished, I guess, before, saying that this would be his second time here, but perhaps she is referring to something else. Or perhaps he was punished for something, but not because of us, at least. Alright, so yeah, there is this Duergar now, and there is going to be a little follow-up. He's going to pester us here. "Most powerful of Drow, forgive my insolence in speaking before being told to do so, but I must beg your attention a moment." Begone, worm. But yeah, the business of his master is not nonsense. He's going to insist that we go and talk to that creature over there. "And come close to him, and he will speak to your mind. It is the way of his kind. Please do not tarry. He will announce an alarm to the city if you keep him waiting." And I am going to quick save here, because first I'm going to showcase a different type of outcome that we can get if we do our conversation in a certain way. But then we're going to do something different. "Hear me, hear my thoughts in your mind. I am ambassador, but I have a service I demand of you, one that you will perform discreetly and with haste." So this is an Aboleth, and this is a really cool creature. You can Google it to see how it's supposed to look. It's kind of like a fish-like creature with tentacles. It looks pretty horrifying. And the Aboleth are a very ancient race, and there are a couple of really cool, unique things about them, and primarily the fact that once a newborn Aboleth comes to life, it automatically inherits all of the memories of all of his ancestors. So basically, from generation to generation, this race becomes more powerful, more knowledgeable, and they hold many secrets from ages past. So they're an extremely dangerous, kind of terrifying race. And the second thing is that they can also absorb all of the memories of a creature that they have a brain of. So if they have access to someone's brain, they can actually absorb all of the info from that brain. And this is actually pretty cool because Baldur's Gate 2 makes use of that part of them in this quest here, actually. So you will stoop to working for me, if I so command. Surfacer, I can see it in your thoughts, clearly. Do you wish this secret announced to the mind of every drow within the city? Yeah, so of course he knows of, or he doesn't care about our business here, but he knows that we are here with that disguise of ours, and he's going to try to blackmail us into doing this this deed of violence that he requires. He mentions a priestess, Quilyu. I would learn of her faith and the power it grants. Her mind is the prize, and I would have you bring it. And it's actually another interesting name, because Quilyu, although spelled slightly different, with a different E letter, with a little line above it, like some languages have, that kind of a letter E in their alphabets. But anyway, Quilyu, spelled differently in that way, is actually one of the 7 sisters, the chosen of Mistra, Quilyu Veladorn, she is named, and she's actually a priestess of Eilistrei, which is a good-aligned drow goddess, an exception in their pantheon, but clearly there is no relation here. Here Quilyu is going to be a servant of Lolth, a pretty high-level priestess. Anyway, here he explains, I do not require her as a whole. As I said, it is her mind that I require. Kill her, slay her in her home and temple, retrieve her brain, and bring it to me. That is the task. That is the command I give. You will obey, or I reveal you, and you die. That is your choice. But if we go this way in the conversation, we can actually say, no, I don't think this is how this is going to work, fish. I simply refuse. What's more, I'm telling you to shut up. I have outlined the threat I intend. I do not bluff. Fear me. You are in no position to act on your threats. I will tell you what to do. I will reveal your treachery if you breathe a word of this. You cannot harm me, or I will expose you too. I die, you die. Simple. So shut up. This could have been written in a little bit better, I think. But anyway, this is still an interesting concept that actually we can reverse blackmail him, and he's going to back down. You are a strange individual. I release you to avoid trouble for us both. Leave me, volatile one. A pleasure to have made your acquaintance. So we get some experience for that, but I am going to quick load here and talk to him again and accept his task. So of course we've seen all that. And yeah, now we are going to be able to have access through this entrance here to Quilyu's home, and we are going to have to pre-buff a little bit because there's going to be a lot of mages with her. She is a level 20 cleric, and she's going to have some servants with her, and I think just a couple of spells are going to do. We're going to give all of our mages some mirror images.
Yes.
We also
We
can also throw in like
What you want?
a chant. We're also going to haste ourselves.
Speak.
And we are going to go for that limited wish to give everyone minor globe of invulnerability, just to be protected from some lower level spells.
You shall die for your impudence.
Alright, so we want that. We're also going to give spell immunity to abjuration on Senashira, and we're going to change our gear on Jaheira and Anomen so they are protected from fire. So let's just quickly rearrange that. Give Jaheira her helmet, and Anomen is going to have this equipped, and I think Anomen is also going to enter the fight with that True Seeing active. Alright, and now we can go in. Alright, so there's Quilyu. There's 2 servants with her already, and there's going to be a couple of more of them to the east, and I'm going to quickly just pull them pull them all so that we can have a bigger fight here. And so she is a level 20 cleric, and the servants, although they don't differ in names, there's actually 2 types of them. Some of them are level 14 single class mages, and the other ones are level 12 fighter mages, level 12 in both classes. So they are going to have slightly different pre-buffs. Like the fighter mages, I think, are going to have improved haste on them actually. And also in the lore, the drow are supposed to have 65% magic resistance, and I think most of them have that amount, but there are some exceptions, and I think all of the drow here have their magic resistance in the 70s actually, and Quilyu is actually close to 80, I believe. Not that it really matters, but anyway, so for this fight we want to have some dispelling magic at our disposal, and Anomen is going to start with a firestorm, place it right here. Senashira is protected with protection from fire, and Jaheira and Anomen have their gear ready, and no one else is going to get close to that firestorm. But anyway, we can start casting that, but other than that, let's actually wait for the pre-buffs to trigger. Come on, Quilyu, you're going to have a lot of pre-buffs. Yeah, so I think the mages have minor spell turning. They all have minor globe, and some stone skins, of course, fire shield blue, improved invisibility. But yeah, the fighter mages are going to have improved haste. So actually, let's use Senashira to pull these other guys. Come on, fellas. Alright, now Quilyu also has her buffs, and we were already dispelled. Now it just... Alright, Quilyu actually had... No, she has remove fear. Who did the dispelling magic? This matters because I want to see... Well, we can actually take a look at our characters. It wasn't effective, so it must have been one of the fighter mages, probably. Anyway, somehow I'm blind and wasn't able to spot the correct line in the combat log. But anyway, Quilyu, I just wanted to point to her pre-buffs, that she actually has some pretty high level pre-buffs. She has Physical Mirror, and I think she also has Shield of the Archons. Yeah, she does. So basically that means that she is protected from single target spells, and normally that doesn't matter because of her magic resistance. Of course, we don't want to... we basically are not going to focus on single target dispels. Like this Shield of the Archons matters in the way that it would block our breach, but we are not going to really care about that. First we're just going to unleash Imoen's spell sequencer here to hopefully dispel as many of them as possible, and let's just focus our attacks at who we can here. Alright, so I think that sequencer was pretty effective at most of them here. Alright, our firestorm is underway, so Anomen can now attack. Alright, fellas, where are you? Come on, follow me. Some of them are going to be invisible, but they should get gradually revealed by our True Seeing on Anomen. And we, because of her Physical Mirror, we can't really use our ranged weapons against Quilyu. And she also has a Dimension Door, kind of instant power that she can, in her home, teleport away into a couple of different places. Kind of like Daviorn, aka Dave, could in Baldur's Gate 1. But we actually did manage to kill her before she teleported out. Unfortunately, Spell Thrust was cast on Senashira, and that's going to dispel both her spell immunity to abjuration and her minor globe. But still, we can kind of stay here and wait for them to approach. And I think that firestorm is discouraging them quite heavily, although there is someone over there. So I think what we're going to do is have Imoen a little bit closer and
Yes?
cast her own True Sight to help us a little bit with revealing these guys, and they probably have Mantle active. Alright, this guy is killed. I would like to attack this guy, but I don't want Edwin to come too close, and even Karen and I, because I don't want them to get damaged by our own Firestorm. Alright, we have the weapon ineffective message. And we don't really know if this is a fighter mage that would require spell thrust, or sorry, the mage that would require spell thrust, or the fighter mages that we could breach right away if their illusions were dispelled. And I'm not sure they were.
What is it?
We can test that easily by trying to cast spell thrust at the guy. Alright, so now that worked. He just unleashed Greater Malison.
I'm busy, okay?
And we can have Edwin cast a breach at him. Alright. Right, now his protections are down, and we can just go with range damage. Boom. Is there anyone else? Alright, there is one badly injured servant over there. Let's see if we can get to him. Unfortunately, we cannot. And we would need probably spell thrust. I don't want to breach myself with that spell turning, bouncing my breach on the caster. But we can't really go through this firestorm with like Imoen or Edwin without getting them damaged. And they would survive that, but still, I kind of don't want to do that. Just as a...
I am willing.
because of the principle, I guess. But now we are ready. And I think Edwin has one spell thrust that we can use, and then Imoen can use breach, so that we can get to that guy. Alright, that is underway. We have 2 skeleton warriors, so I think the next thing that we can do is use our Skull of Death on someone that has not casted, or has not cast anything, like, for example, Jaheira. And she's going to unleash that death spell to get rid of these skeleton warriors.
Yes?
Well, the other one was already killed by Senashira, but Senashira is going to be needed to take care of this dude. Alright, and now we can just go in. And that was a pretty clean fight, which was pretty cool. That is a satisfactory outcome.
What is it? Certainly.
Right, let's loot Quillu here. We can actually get her brain now, and she also has a dagger. Dagger +4. And the other guys have some potions, but that will require rearranging our inventory a little bit. Yeah, just imagine just carving that brain out. Like, being an adventurer is not pretty in a lot of cases. Here we have a nice upgrade for Kirinai. Of course, her dagger, this pixie prick, has this property on hit that basically never works anyway, because of the good save, and you know, that sleep, I think, is the one that upon getting damaged they actually do get up. So we are just going to upgrade that to our bone blade now. Who had that? Let's just bunch up first. Right, so now we're going to be able to sell that. Can you identify these? Oh yeah, the halberd, Dragon's Breath. This one is amazing. It's a +4 enchanted halberd with no physical damage bonuses, but instead it has all 5 different, well, quote-unquote elemental sources of damage. So cold, fire, electricity, acid, and poison. This is just amazing. But unfortunately we're not going to have... Well, I might even hold on to it, because I think in Throne of Ball we're going to have someone who is going to be able to utilize halberds. And now we can switch to our normal gear.
Yes?
Alright, and we can just quick loot the other potions here.
Direct me as you will.
There's no containers to loot over there. Alright,
What is it?
and that's it. So we have fulfilled the request of that Aboleth, but we are going to have a conversation with him and then with Phaere in the tavern in the next episode. So I thank you for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you then.